Good evening. My name is Amy Doerflinger, and this presentation is for City University's Masters of Leadership program for MAL 532, and I'll be talking about Redbox today and why they need a strategic thought leadership process. The agenda for this presentation includes the following. We'll start with an introduction of the company, talk about the strengths of Redbox, analyze those strengths, talk about Redbox using a matrix model, and then have a conclusion where I discuss why Redbox needs a thought leadership program and how they would benefit from this. But first, what is thought leadership? So in my own words, I feel as though thought leadership is an individual or a company that others recognize as a subject matter expert or a SME in their field. Others would look to this person or company as the person of expertise. So using that definition, a thought leadership strategy would be a way that a company could get back on top of their niche or their market. They would create steps on how they would do that, and they would improve upon their current business practices in order to do this, or create new business practices. So we'll discuss that a little bit further. So who is Redbox? What about them? They are a company comprised of fully automated kiosks that dispense movies and games. So DVDs in Blu-ray formats or not. They were founded in 2002. Their locations are pretty convenient. They're located at major grocery stores like Safeway here in the Northwest, Fred Meyer's I've seen them at. They're also available at Walgreens, Walmart's, some restaurants, so McDonald's for instance, and there's over 29,000 kiosks. They're known for their low prices and also their convenient rent and return anywhere policy. Customers have the ability to reserve discs online and also on their cell phones via their app. And because of this, they become really popular and convenient for people because most people do have a cell phone in their hand, or they go to some of these convenient locations for their normal everyday errands. There's been over 3 billion discs rented to date from Redbox. So some reasons that they need thought leadership, in my opinion, is because their business model seems to be outdated and they need to regain back some of their market share. They originally were the first ones to the market in this type of industry, and now they've been taken over, kind of lost their market share because of companies like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, Prime Video, and online streaming companies. So Redbox's mission statement is people crave entertainment, and at Redbox we make entertainment more accessible and we do it better than anyone else. Honestly, I don't really think the first sentence of their mission statement is very needed or necessary. It seems to be kind of erroneous. Their mission statement was probably more accurate when they first started as a company compared to what they're doing today. Now it sort of makes me laugh because they don't do it better than anyone else. They have more competition today than when they first started, and they need to redo their mission statement or get up with the times a little bit more in order to actually live out their mission, in my opinion. When it comes to a vision statement for this company, I couldn't find any proof that they've even published one. And to me, this is an example of why Redbox could benefit from someone helping them with their thought leadership strategies, or they need to look internally and really come up with a vision statement and publish it to the public and revamp their mission statement so that it can better align to their goals of today. Alright, so Redbox, their attempt at competing. To live up to their mission statement more, this company could update their model to better align with what current customers are looking for. So they attempted to do this in 2013 with something that they called Redbox Instant. It was sort of like a Netflix or online streaming type of deal, pretty similar to Netflix. They had some people sign up for memberships, but they didn't offer what their other competitors did. They didn't offer TV shows, and they also, Netflix, because they were first to the market in the online streaming, they got some exclusive deals with certain companies, and Redbox wasn't able to get into that market. Well, when your customers want those certain movies or TV shows from certain people, TV shows wasn't even something Redbox offered, but in regards to movies, if Redbox couldn't offer it, people wouldn't go to them. So they were pretty limited in what they offered online. Also, their pricing was around $8, where Netflix started out at $3, went up to $5 and $6, and they've always stayed really low and competitive. Now, instead of being the first to the market and this online streaming capability, they have competitors such as Amazon, like I mentioned, Hulu, YouTube now even, and then Netflix as well. So there's multiple competitors, limited streaming capability like I talked about, and again, they were not first to market like they were originally when they became Redbox and provided their kiosks. So Redbox's strengths. I'll talk about two of their strengths that I found. One is location. So there's around 29,000 locations nationwide, and I mentioned before some of the areas that they're located. You can see there on the screen McDonald's, grocery stores, convenience stores, Walmart, Walgreens. I know 7-Eleven, that falls under the convenience store area. So that's one location, or one strength. The second strength is their price. They are a low-cost competitor, and there's one low price for every DVD or game. They don't charge monthly fees. They don't charge late fees. They have a rent-to-buy option, and then they also provide coupon codes and promotions. So the reason that, well, not the reason that they don't have late fees, but they don't have late fees because you rent a movie and then you get it for 24 hours. If you don't return it back, you get charged that same low price every day after that. After 28 days, you now own the movie. So yeah, you end up spending about $28 to $30 on this movie, but you don't continue to accrue late fees. So if you're the type of person who just wants to rent a movie one time, you just try to return it the next day when you go and get gas. Should be pretty convenient. That's their business model. But they make money off those people who do forget and end up turning them in, let's say, at 27 days. So they just charged you $27, when if you could have kept it one more day, you'd get it for $28. They do have email lists, and they send out coupon codes via text and email as well as part of their promotions. So some customers also don't want another subscription fee to add to their plethora of bills every month, even if it is under $10, like Netflix. So people nowadays have music subscriptions, Amazon, recurring bills, and those just add up every month. So Redbox offers an option to rent a movie, like I mentioned before, from your phone, or on your way out the door doing errands or just stopping at McDonald's. If I only watch movies on rare occasions and I'm offered a promo code, then I'm more likely to use Redbox on the way out of my grocery shopping trip, for instance. The price is definitely right for people who want a low hassle and convenient option. In regards to what strength would best suit Redbox, I believe it's location. So this fits with their original mission, and they could use some improvement to diversify and offer more incentives for people who do house their kiosks at their locations. If they want to continue to compete in the market for movie rentals, they need to use their strengths and potentially get into new markets. People still go to restaurants and stores where their kiosks are located. So it's not like grocery stores are going away, or convenience stores, or the locations that they've chosen to put their boxes. And like I mentioned, it fits with their original mission, which was to make entertainment more accessible and to do it the best. So it does make it very accessible when they provide kiosks at places that people tend to go to pretty often. They are the best at the kiosk model in this market, but the accessibility part can be argued due to the rise in the online streaming, as previously mentioned. Alright, so in order to utilize their best strength of their location, I believe Redbox needs to advertise differently. They could have their kiosks speak to people automatically when they walk by in order to grab their attention. So it could be on a sensor and just say like a quick phrase, or have music playing, or something catchy that kind of catches people's eyes and ears as they walk by and reminds them, hey, on your way back out, come rent a movie. Or grabs their attention on the way in so that they stop, rent a movie, then go finish their groceries or grab their dinner, and then head out. They also could advertise more on TV or somehow get into commercials on other online streaming sites if their competitors would let them. So for instance, on YouTube, there's so many commercials, I feel like, in between videos that you watch or just anything that you're seeing. And with the market nowadays, people using YouTube like crazy and Netflix, if Redbox could get a quick little promo in there, it might help bring the attention back to this company, because I think that they have been kind of lost in the shuffle. Also, Redbox could get more creative with their locations for their kiosks. Instead of just grocery stores or a few different restaurants, why not outside of movie theaters, like the one pictured below? They already have a captive audience of people who you could safely assume enjoy watching movies. So part of their movie stub tickets could include a coupon code for Redbox movies if they rent one the same day they brought their movie person in. So for instance, you go into this AMC pictured below, you get your movie ticket for Bridesmaids, since it's on there. On the back of your movie stub, it says that there's a code for either 50% off or a free movie from Redbox on the way out, and it kind of talks about the process and where the kiosk is, located right outside of the doors as you leave. You go, you watch Bridesmaids, you think this is cool that you have a coupon code, you walk out of the movie later, and you must like movies a little bit to be going to a movie theater. So then you think, okay, I'll rent another one on my way out. And it would just give people an incentive and do something differently. I mean, it would be promotion or an advertising for Redbox that would be surprising and something that people have never seen before. So this is the Boston Matrix model, and on the left-hand side you can see that there's low to high market growth. On the bottom there's low to high market share. And then there's in red the different boxes, what they mean. So question marks, stars, cash cows, and dogs. The dogs area is in the low market growth and low market share. And those are the problems that they tend to have. They tend to absorb cash rather than generate it. And they're developing in a slow and growing industry. You move over to cash cows, they enjoy a high market share and a low market growth. These businesses usually generate a lot of cash, but opportunities or new investments are limited due to the low market growth. So the aim is to stay as a cash cow and, as they say, milk it for as long as possible. So the question marks, also called problem children sometimes, have a low market share in a high growing market. Those products or businesses grow rapidly and they consume lots of resources, but they have low cash because of the low market share. They have the potential to grow market share and generate income, which would then turn them into stars or cash cows. But they could also downgrade into dogs with little return and wasted investment, which is what happened with the online streaming service that Redbox attempted back in 2002 that we talked about. You really need to analyze the things that are in the question mark, because you have to decide if they're worth the investment in order to try to gain that market share. Stars then represent really what the ideal section is for a company. High market share in a fast-growing industry, and those are two elements that usually generate cash and create more opportunities for the company. Usually the natural cycle of business starts as a problem child or a question mark, and grows and becomes a star, then matures and grows kind of slow and become a cash cow, or end up as a dog. As mentioned before, you tend to want to stay in the area of being a cash cow. So in conclusion, Redbox would absolutely benefit from a thought leadership strategy. They appear to have attempted to compete with the rising demand of online streaming and failed in their eyes, hence why it didn't last very long. I would suggest that they try that market again, but when they do, find a different niche than Netflix or their competitors. They need to create a bundle that's unique to them, that makes them first to the market in this new genre or area so that they stand out. They also need to continue to innovate and not be afraid to fail. I think the reason they are so successful when they first started was because that they were the first to the market and they created this unique space to play in. Since then, they haven't really kept up with what customers want. They've just been lagging behind, like Blockbuster did back in the day, and not really changing their business model. And to me, this shows because they haven't even changed their mission statement from when they first started as a company. Not that you have to change your mission statement, but continuing to go back and reassess your company against that to make sure that it's still relevant is important. And if you're not going back and reassessing it, it shows, just like Redbox is, because I wouldn't say that they are living up to their mission statement at this moment. So these are the references as to where I got my material and gained further insight into Redbox. And it's the end of the PowerPoint, so keep calm. So again, this has been Amy Doerflinger talking about Redbox and why they would benefit from a thought leadership strategy. It's been my pleasure speaking with you today, and if there's any questions, I can be reached at my school email, which is aldoerflinger@cityuniversity.edu. So that's aldoerflinger@cityuniversity.edu. It's been my pleasure presenting to you today.